Hello, welcome to today's session. Today we'll do a slightly more dynamic session and then we'll finish with something called Sitkari Pranayama, which is a cooling breath. So we're going to start today in a child posture. So come to any comfortable variation of child. If you do want to put a folded blanket behind the knees or a block, that's great. And then maybe resting the forehead on your hands or stretching the arms out in front. So take a moment or two to settle yourself into the child posture position. Make any adjustments to get as comfortable as possible. And then begin to focus on the breath. Check that your face is relaxed. Be aware of the breath flowing in through the nostrils, down the throat, filling the upper body. And try and relax the back of the throat. You could imagine that you're silently producing an R sound. And you might find that helps to open up the back of the throat. And perhaps throughout the session, as you breathe, you might remember to try and produce that sort of silent R sound as you breathe from the back of the throat. And here in child's posture, being aware of the breath, expanding the rib cage to the sides and to the back of the body, and also filling the lower abdomen, filling the belly. And then on the next inhalation, coming up to all fours. And we can begin with a few movements, whatever feels good, just starting to wake up the muscles in the back of the body. Some side stretches perhaps. Visualizing the spine moving around into different shapes. You can take the hands a little bit further forwards, maybe do a few circles as though you're drawing circles on the mat with the chest, one way than the other. So nothing too vigorous, we're just beginning to warm the muscles up. And then bringing the hands back, let's push up into a downward facing dog. And we can do a little bit of paddling or dog walking, stretching alternate hamstrings. Pushing away on the floor with the hands, so you're taking the seat back and up. Could do a few side stretches, taking the heels to one side and the other, pressing down to the opposite hand. Maybe coming up to an acute dog on the balls of the feet. And then bringing the knees back down to the floor. Sit back onto the heels for a moment and lean onto the backs of the hands. Flexing the wrists. And then coming forwards to all fours, and we'll do some cat-cow flexions. So initiating the movement from the pelvis. As you breathe in, lifting the chest and pushing these inner thighs back. As you breathe out, tailbone tucking down, hollowing the chest, pushing the upper back toward the ceiling. So slow, deep breaths, being aware of the openness at the back of the throat, keeping the muscles of the face relaxed. And then Take the hands a little bit further forwards from the shoulder position and push back to downward facing dog. Let's hold here for a few breaths. Adjust the feet, maybe bring them forward a little bit. So the heels are coming towards the floor, they probably won't actually reach the floor. But to start with, we can keep the knees a little bit bent and focus more on lengthening the waists. And then we're going to lift the left leg behind. Bend at the knee, take the knee up to the side, stacking the hips. Push a little bit more through the left hand to try and keep the chest facing forwards. Just use the weight of the leg to really open out that left hip joint. And then straightening out the leg, levelling the hips, and stepping forwards with the left foot to the left hand, lowering the right knee. And then pressing down through the left foot, lifting the arms into a raised runner. Feeling the hips starting to move down and forwards. And then keeping the left arm raised, bring the right hand down to the floor. People with bricks, you could use a brick at this point to help out. And then rotating to the left. Breathing into the nice stretch from right hand to left. And then again, pressing down to the left foot, lifting up, bringing the arms to the horizontal so you're facing to the left in a twist. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can tuck the toes and lift the back knee. And then windmilling the left hand down to the front, we'll lower the right knee again. Lunge a little bit lower. And then tucking the toes, you can go back through all fours or straight back to downward facing dog. So we'll repeat that on the right side. So lift the right leg, bend at the knee, take the knee out to the side. Press a little bit more through the right hand to level off the shoulders. And then straighten out the back leg, level the hips, right foot to right hand, lower the left knee. And then we can press down to the right foot, lifting up, raised runner. And then keeping the right hand raised, lowering the left arm, rotating to the right. And then again pressing down to the front foot, bring the arms to the horizontal, this time you're looking to your right. Maybe lifting the back knee. And then bringing both hands down, lower that back knee, to stretch forwards once more into a lower lunge. And then stepping forwards, feet together, hanging down loosely. You can bend the knees a little bit. Let's tuck the hands into the elbows, head relaxed down. And we can swing from side to side a little bit. A small movement, or if you want, you can make it a little bit bigger, more of a pendulum. And again, relaxing down, and then keeping the knees bent, head down, slowly uncurling as you press down through the feet. And then raising the arms, stretching up, and bringing the hands back down. Okay, so we'll work through a sun salutation. So we'll bring the feet together and we'll start with a couple of half forward bends. Coming into Tadasana and then breathing in as you raise the arms. Exhaling as you fold forwards, bending the knees to start with, getting the head and the upper body down. Inhaling to the half forward bend. You could bring the hands onto the shins or keep them on the floor. Lengthening the chest forwards. Exhaling, folding forward, stretching the legs a little bit more, but still bending the knees slightly. Then press down through the feet to raise up, straight back, stretching up. Hands back down to the sides. Inhaling as you lift up. Exhaling as you fold forwards. Inhaling to the half forward bend. Exhaling, Uttanasana. Inhaling as you come all the way up. Exhaling, bringing the hands down through the centre. Inhaling as you raise up. Exhaling as you fold forwards. Inhaling to the half forward bend. Exhaling, full forward bend. We'll hold here. A few breaths here. Legs might be a bit straighter now. And then we'll step back with the left foot. Knee to the floor, but come up to a raised runner. Press down through the right foot, stretching up. Exhaling, hands down, step back, down dog. Center section, come forwards to a plank. You can put the knees down immediately if you find that easier. But then anyway, put the knees down, lower down. We'll come to a sphinx, so bring the forearms to the floor. Breathe in, bringing the sternum forwards. Exhaling, hands back under the shoulders, push back through all fours, down dog. Left foot forwards to left hand, right knee down. Raise the arms. Hands down, step forwards as you exhale. Then press down through the feet to lift all the way up. Hands down through the centre. Right side, inhaling as you stretch up. Exhaling as you fold forwards. Inhaling as you step back with the right foot lifting up. Exhaling as you step back to down dog. Inhaling to the plank. Exhaling, lowering, bring the forearms forwards. Inhaling, pull the floor back, bring the sternum forwards for Sphinx. Exhaling, push back, down dog. Inhaling, right foot forwards, rising up. Exhaling, left foot forwards, head down. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhaling, hands down through the centre. So I think we'll do one more to each side. In your own time, inhaling, raising up. Exhaling, folding forwards. Stepping back with the left foot. So again, in your own time, we'll meet up in mountain posture after the second side. pausing at the end in Tadasana. Just wait a moment for everyone to catch up. Resettling the body, feeling the weight even between both feet. Allowing the breath to slow. Just feeling the mind calming as the breath slows. And then coming back to the centre of the mat to do a couple of side stretches. Bring the feet back together. And we'll raise the arms. And we can intertwine the wrists to bring the palms together from the opposite sides. So, I'm a bit off the top of the screen here, but the arms are intertwining around the wrists, bringing the palms together from the opposite directions. And then stretching over to your right. Back to the centre. And untwist and redo the wrists in the opposite direction. Stretching over to the left. Back to the centre. Moving the hands around. Stretch to the right. Back to the centre. And over to the left. And bring the hands down. So we'll try a posture called horse posture. So we'll take the feet a bit wider. Don't have the feet turn out so widely here, but do what feels good in terms of the feet for the knees. So we're going to lower down, taking the knees out to the side. So go as low as is comfortable. Interlink the fingers of the hands, push forwards, and then as you inhale, take the arms up. And we'll pause here for a few breaths. And then hands down to the sides, as though you're pushing the arms out to the sides. And then straightening the legs. Bring the feet back together. Step back to the front of the mat. And we'll vinyasa down to a prone position. So inhaling, stretching up. Exhaling, folding forwards. We're going to step back to a plank, but if you prefer not to do a plank, step back 1 foot at a time to all fours. Otherwise, taking 1 foot back, stretching out the legs, and pause in the plank for a moment. Strong legs, push away through the heels, inner thighs rotating up, tailbone lengthening away. Press down to the hands, sort of creating an arch across, or an arc across the top of the shoulders. And then move forward slightly. We can lower down through Chaturanga. You can put the knees down first, or bending through the elbows, lowering the way down. Point the toes, look forwards. Keep the hands sort of mid rib. And we do a kind of a cobra hovering hands. So inhaling, hovering the hands, lifting the chest. Exhaling, lowering. Inhaling, looking forwards, lifting up. Exhaling, lowering. Inhaling, looking forwards, lifting up. We'll hold for a breath. And then lowering down. Bring the hands forwards. We can rest the chin on the hands. Take the feet out to the edges of the mat. Roll the pelvis sort of from side to side. And then resting the whole of the front of the body down. Releasing any tension out of the body and allowing the breath to slow down. And then we're going to push back through all fours, bring the big toes together but take the knees wider, maybe to mat's width or a little less, and then sinking down onto the feet. And again, you could place something under or on the heels. And we're walking the hands forwards as though we're trying to bring the chest down to the floor between the knees. We're going to actually keep the hands up on the fingertips. And take a few deep breaths, breathing into the belly, but feeling the whole of the upper body lengthening. And then pushing back up, come back to all fours, and then we'll push back up to downward facing dog. And then lifting the left leg, stepping forwards, left foot to left hand. And we're going to come up to a raised runner, so we can put the hands on the knees, keep the right toes tucked under, raise the arms. So we can bend the back knee a little bit to keep the lower back lengthening downwards. You can hold here, or for a little bit extra work, you could try lowering that right knee down toward the floor and lifting, say 3 times. Or if the whole thing is good, too strong, just keep the knee on the floor for a little bit. And then straightening the front leg, and we'll bring the right heel to the floor. Might step the back forward, foot forwards a little bit, coming into work on pyramid posture. So we'll have the hands together, the chest in the prayer position. Check that the hips are facing forwards. And then this is a sort of diving pyramid. So we point the fingers down, and it's as though you're kind of scanning down that front leg with the fingertips. And then lifting up, looking forward or looking up if you've got the balance, and then bringing the hands back to the heart. And we'll repeat that twice more, pointing the fingers down, scanning down the front of the front leg, lifting up, whoops, and bring the hands back to the heart. Last time. Scanning down, lifting up, hands back down to the heart. And then coming into the full pyramid posture, you can bring the hands down onto the leg, or bring the hands to the floor, or place the hands on 2 bricks, or you can allow that front leg to bend a little bit. Lengthen the chest forwards, and think about the inner right thigh rotating back, just to try and keep the hips level. We can hold here with a horizontal back, or if you want to take it further, you can start to bend the upper body forwards, as though bringing the nose to the front of the shin. And then bringing the right knee down, back to a lunge. Just shifting forwards, lowering the pelvis. Lifting back up. So we're now going to come into a variation on a side plank. So you might want to bring the left foot back a little bit so your legs are kind of in at right angles. And then we're turning the left foot out to the side. Weight goes into the right hand. Left hand can come onto that left knee to start with, and then the back foot turns on its side, and we straighten the back leg. Now we can hold here, or again we could just try lowering down to the floor and lifting up 3 times. That's just a bit of extra work for the upper body. And then staying here with the hand on the knee, or if you want to take it further, you can raise the left hand and then bring it forwards, and then start to push the hip up more towards the ceiling into more of a crescent shape. And then bring the hand back to the floor, back to all fours, being pushed through to an upward facing dog. Keep the knees down or press down to the tops of the feet to lift the knees. Watch the lower back. And then either back through all fours or roll over the toes back to downward facing dog. Pause in down dog to slow the breath. Or if you prefer, come down to a child posture. So repeating that on the right side, just lift the right leg, bring the right foot forwards, coming up to a raised runner, bend the back knee a little bit, keep the left toes tucked under, and then hold here, or if you wish, lowering that knee towards the floor and raising 3 times. Look forwards or look up if you've got the balance. And then straighten the front leg, hop the left foot forwards a little bit, bring the heel down, ready for pyramid posture. And just line up the hips with the front of the mat. And then bring the hands to the prayer position. And then once more, we're pointing the fingers down and kind of scanning down the front of the right leg. Reaching forwards and up. Hands back to the heart. Fingers pointing down, scanning down the leg. Reaching forwards and up. Hands back to the heart. Last time, scanning down the leg, reaching forwards, lifting up. Hands back to the heart. And then coming down to pigeon, not to pigeon, to pyramid. Again, we might have the hands on the shin, on the floor, on bricks, maybe bending the front leg slightly. Inner left thigh rotating back, chest moving forwards. Stay here with the horizontal back, or you could start to fold further forwards. And then we'll bring the left knee down. And we come on to this variation on side plank. To the opposite side, so we're turning the right foot out to the side. Might want to bring it back a bit more. Left palm is planted. Right hand on the right knee. As you turn to the right, and then we can rotate the left foot onto its side and straighten that leg out. And once more, you hold here, or we could sort of lower down and lift up 3 times. And again, just staying here, take a break, or lift the right arm, bring it over the ear, press down a little bit more through the hand and the left foot, raising the hip, arcing the body, and then right hand back down. You could go straight to a plank here, or to all fours, and then through to upward facing dog, back to downward facing dog. Pause here to slow the momentum of the breath, and then bring the knees down. Take a rest in child posture. Breathing slowly and deeply. Once more, breathing to the belly If you wish, you can keep the arms stretched forwards and feel a nice stretch along the spine. And then coming up to all fours. And we're going to come into a pigeon posture with a little twist. So I think we'll bring the left knee forwards first, and then walk the right foot back a little bit, and then we're going to help that left foot over to the side, and then you're easing the right foot back. So with these pigeon postures, you can take some sort of cushion or block or a brick to put underneath the raised hip for balance. Now you might simply find that pressing down for the hands and the back foot helps you to keep the even, the level hip, which is what we're trying to maintain. You can come up onto fingertips. Allow the upper shoulders to rotate back and the chest to lift. And then we're going to bring the right forearm to the floor. So again, if that's too low for you, you could use a brick or a cushion to give you a bit more height. And then the left hand's going to come onto the left knee, and we'll turn the body to the left. Still keep pushing away through the right foot. And then back to the front, we can ease the right knee forwards, left knee back to all fours. Push up for a moment into down dog. And then back to all fours, bring the right knee forwards. Probably going to be somewhere just behind and inside the right hand. Bring the foot over to the side of the mat. Start to walk the left foot back. Easing nice and slowly into one-legged king pigeon posture. Ekapada Raja Kapotanasana. And this time we'll bring the left arm to the floor. Again, you can place it onto a brick or blanket or cushion. Bring the right hand to the right knee, rotate to the right. And then back to the front. Back to all fours and down facing dog. And then lowering the knees to the floor, and we bring the legs forwards. You could perhaps cross the ankles, sit back, stretch the feet forwards. You might need to shift forwards a little bit. A forward bend, so could be up on the block. Let's lift the arms, maybe push the palms to the ceiling, lift the front of the body, push the heels away, push the knees down into the floor. And then folding forwards. If you've got a strap, you could use that. Otherwise, feel free to bend the knees to get the hands to the feet. So we can do a bit more of a relaxed forward bend, so that the upper body is coming forwards and down. So it's a bit more relaxing. And then we can hold here for a few breaths. If you've got the knees bent, you can always then experiment with inching them forward slightly. And then press down into the floor to lift back up. And we'll come into Virasana, or hero posture. So this is a kneeling position. And ideally we're sitting between the ankles. So once more, you could be up on a cushion, a couple of bricks, a couple of blocks. Start with the palms on the knees, straight arms, lifting the chest, being aware of the lower back lifting, shoulders rolling back and down. So we should definitely have a nice stretch down the front of the thighs. And we could raise the arms, either keep the arms parallel, palms facing, or interlink the fingers and push the palms to the ceiling. But think of pulling the shoulders down. And then bringing the hands down. Stretch the legs out. Coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana. So if I come around this way, I think, so we'll start with bringing the right foot outside the left leg. And then as usual, you can keep that left leg long or lean over and bring the heel to the hip. Draw the body up, right hand behind, left hand on the left knee to start with. As you start to turn to the right, and then what we could try is raising the left arm, stretching up to that left side, bend forward a little bit and try and bring the left elbow down outside the right knee, and then from there work to straighten up. Come back to the front, try that the other side. So stretch out the right leg, left foot outside right leg stays straight or heel to hip. Lengthen the body up first, and we'll bring the left hand behind. And then once more we can try raising the right arm this time for that stretch up the right side of the body. Maybe lean forward a little bit to help you to bring the left elbow down inside the knee. And then from there start to straighten up. If this is too strong a twist, just keep the hand on the knee. Turning to look over the back shoulder. And then coming to face forwards once more, stretching out the legs. Do a second forward bend. So let's raise the arms once more. And then folding forwards, Paschimottanasana. To keep the hands on the floor, take hold of the feet, use a strap. Lifting back up. So we're going to work it into a bridge posture, but we're going to use a supported bridge today, which you will need a couple of props. I'm going to use my cushion, so the Zafu meditation cushion, or you could use a couple of bricks. A pile of books, provided it's stable, or a folded blanket or two. So we come into semi-supine position. So lying down on your backs with the feet flat to the floor, feet roughly parallel hips width. And then we're going to press down through the feet to lift the pelvis and sliding
your prop under the lower, well not the lower back, but under the sacrum. So this is quite important, that the sacrum is what's being supported and is flat. If you have the cushion or bolster or whatever under the lower back, then you'll find that the pelvis rotates forwards, and that will be rather unkind to the lower back. If you have the support too far forwards, then you'll sink down, which you don't want to have either. So support underneath the sacral area. So we can keep the hands by the sides. And this is just a nice place to stay, very relaxing. So you could just stay here. Or you could bring the right knee in towards the chest and just clasp the hands top of the shin. And then stretch the right leg upwards. So we're pushing up to the balls of the foot, flaring the toes back. And then bring the right foot back to the floor. Repeat on the left side, so bring the knee into the chest first. Hug that knee into the chest. Keep the chin lifting here, you don't want to be pressing the back of the neck into the floor. And then hands back to the sides as you stretch the left foot up to the ceiling. And then left foot back to the floor. So we can try, if you wish, just make sure the support is stable. We can raise both legs. So a variation on Viparita Karani, the half shoulder stand. Just allow the weight of the legs to sink down through the support into the floor. And then lowering one leg at a time. Press down for the feet, lift the pelvis and draw the support out of the way. Lower back down. And then we can come up to an actual bridge, Setu Bandhasana. Press the hands to the floor, press down for the feet, push the knees away. You can perhaps interlace the fingers underneath the body. Press down through the back of the head, shift the shoulders a little closer. And then breathing into the upper chest, lifting the sternum up toward the chin. Pressing down through the feet, keeping avoiding clenching the buttock muscles. Buttock muscles are involved here, they should be lengthening, and that provides the support for the lower back. And then lowering back down. So we can come into a reclining twist. So we'll bring the knees into the chest, and then let's bring the hands into sort of goalpost positions if you find that comfortable, otherwise stretched out to the sides, and take the knees over to the left. If they don't comfortably get to the floor, again use some support underneath the left knee, your brick or your cushion. And you can always bring the left hand down onto the upper leg and turn the head to look to the right. And then back to the centre, hug the knees into the centre. We'll repeat that on the other side. So the knees into the chest, take the knees over to the right. Turn the head to look to the left. back to the centre. Hug the knees. And then stretching the legs out. So we'll come into the little stomach exercise here, Tadaka Mudra. So strong legs, flex the feet, and take the arms behind. If it's comfortable, interlace the fingers, turn the palms away. Take the slow, deep inhalation and expelling all the air from the body. And as you hold the out breath, drawing in on the abdomen. We're drawing the diaphragm up into the rib cage. And you hold that, 2 or 3 breaths, or a count of 2 or 3, or as long as it's comfortable, and then release. And then again, breathing deeply in, exhaling all the air from the body, and then entering into this sort of slightly more extreme Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the abdomen back and up into the rib cage. And releasing. Last time, deep inhalation. Exhaling all the air from the body. And then holding the out breath, draw the abdomen back up and into the rib cage. Releasing. And then bring the hands down, bring the knees once more into the chest. Hug the knees in, see if you can lift the forehead up towards the knees. And then lowering back down. And then coming into Shavasana, stretching the legs out. And making yourselves comfortable in Shavasana. We'll hold this for a few minutes. Just taking your time, ensuring the body is as comfortable as possible. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Allowing the feet to roll out to the sides. Arms by the sides, palms face up. So you could take one more deep inhalation through the nostrils, really filling the whole of the body with air, with oxygen. So holding that inhalation and then breathing out through the mouth, feeling the whole body relaxing, and then allowing the breath to come to a natural rhythm. The whole body coming to complete stillness. And as the mind comes to stillness, so does the body. And as the body comes to stillness, so does the mind. So relaxing in Shavasana for a couple more minutes, and then we'll finish the session with a little pranayama practice.
Now starting to stretch the body, taking some deeper inhalations, some longer exhalations. And in your own time, just rolling over to one side or the other. And coming up into a comfortable seated position. So as usual, this might be cross-legged, sitting on the block, or kneeling, or if you prefer, sitting on a straight back chair, ensuring that your feet are firmly on the floor or placed on a block or pile of books. And we're going to practice a pranayama called Sitkari pranayama, which is the hissing breath. And this is intended to be a cooling pranayama, so it's quite nice to do after a slightly stronger yoga session. So we'll be breathing in, making a hissing sound. So we'll do that by placing the tongue just behind the upper teeth, keeping the teeth together, and then as you breathe in, producing a hissing sound. And then at the top of the breath, we'll hold. So I'll be holding just for a moment or two, but you can hold in your own practice as long as feels comfortable. And as you hold the breath, you can introduce what's called the Tri-Bandha. That's the three main locks. So that's the Mula Bandha, drawing in on the lower, on the pelvic floor muscles. Uddiyana Bandha, this is the light toning Uddiyana Bandha. We're just lightly toning up the lower abdomen, not the full-on Uddiyana that we were doing a bit earlier. And Jalandhara Bandha is the neck lock. And we achieve that by keeping an upright position, and you're lifting the sternum as you lower the chin. And then you're holding those three locks on the held in breath. You can just imagine or feel any sort of energy gathering around the area of the heart. And then we'll breathe out through the nostrils with an Ujjayi breath. And then begin the next round. So we'll do that a few times. So let's take a deep, normal breath first. And breathing out. And then breathing in with the hissing breath, so remember, teeth together, tongue tucked up behind the front teeth. And then holding the in-breath, perhaps with the Tri-Bandha. And then breathing out with an Ujjayi breath through the nostrils, feeling the heat leaving the body. So once more, breathing in with the hissing breath. Holding the in-breath. And breathing out through both nostrils with an Ujjayi breath. So finishing your last Siddhikari breath, and then take an ordinary inhalation. Just hold the in-breath, and then slowly breathing out. Bringing the hands together in Anjali Mudra and pausing for a moment, just feeling a sense of peace and quietness and stillness. And then you can bring that sense of stillness and peace out to the rest of your day. Thank you. Namaste.